Welcome to another episode of Passkey Realty's podcast. My name is Tyler. I'm the broker at Passkey Realty. I try to make this about the community and give back the information to the people so that way you guys can make educated decisions on everything that you do. So today's guest is actually right here in Lehigh Acres Community Bulletin Board online on the Facebook group. He is the admin of this group. So I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself. Go ahead.
My name is Dr. Joseph Rustino, and I'm the proud principal in Lee County School District. I am currently at Success Academy, and I'm going to be opening up the brand new Alva High School, and we're opening doors to students in 2027.
Nice. Well, I really definitely appreciate your time tonight and really
Absolutely.
going into this. Part of the reason why I got kind of reached out is that, this Facebook group, Lehigh Community Bulletin Board, has been around for so long. And basically on the fact of the matter is that this board is now up to like 96,000 people. And this, from what I've seen last
growing.
And growing.
Yeah.
So my question to you is that how did you get in the admin position a little bit?
So originally the Facebook group was created by, we'll just use first names, a gentleman by the name of Tommy. And Tommy helped develop this group into really what it is, today. Well, Tommy recruited another lady who sadly, unfortunately passed away. But during that time, he actually recruited me because I was so invested in engaging with the community, because there was this like stigma, or there's this unwritten rule where administrators or Lee County personnel really couldn't engage in social media posts. And I was like, well, why not? And so I started engaging in the Lehigh group, and I started talking to families. Families had questions about their child's education. I would push them into the right direction. And, if they couldn't get a hold of someone, I could give them the kind of avenues, like really, because, Lee County is the second largest employer in Lee County. Mm-hmm. And then there's a huge amount of schools and students in East Lee, and it's growing. So he graciously turned me into a moderator, and then through some, the Facebook gods have deemed yeah. Tommy, he couldn't have a Facebook anymore through some manner, way, shape, or form, and I ended up becoming an administrator. And during that time, because when you're dealing with, at the time I think it was 85,000 people, you would get 400 or 500 post requests in like a 2-hour span.
Because you're having to approve these.
You have to approve it. That's the strict rule. It is not free reign. And not only that, you're approving new members. And people were getting impatient. I realized that I still have a day job. I'm not getting paid for this. I mean, I inadvertently became the only person running that page. And so I had to find out how to become an administrator, and then I hired I recruited 3 ladies who are essentially running it now. They do almost 98% of it. I come in every once in a while and help them provide different perspective. But Sue and Cheryl, like they're running the place, and they're doing a fantastic job. But it really all was about engaging in the community. That's really where it all centered around.
Wow, that's incredible. That's amazing.
And now 96,000 people.
96,000. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I looked at it. That's nuts.
96,000 people.
That's a lot of people. And you know what? Here's the thing. The population. I know this sign was made, and I can't remember exactly where it's at, because I know you see it when you kind of come in to a portion of Lehigh. I think it says like 150,000 or something population.
Yeah.
So the fact is, it's like you're well over the half,
Right.
Just for that. Now, I'm not saying everybody may be in Lehigh, but
correct. Yeah.
It's just a concept of saying, hey, this is where it's at. Now, I will tell you this. Part of the things that I do, and one thing that I notice a lot with, is that basically, when I see people coming into the group, I see a lot of various, topics from,
everything.
Everything. There's not one thing that's not talked about in there. I can assure.
Sometimes, unfortunately, yeah.
Right.
Unfortunately.
And I even, and one thing I even, before we even got on camera, briefly talked to you about this, because I know this was a rule that just kind of passed or voted on, or however you guys do it. that you guys stopped all the anonymous posting.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you, I personally am a big fan of that. I think that that's honestly what makes a community a little bit better.
Say it with your chest.
Yeah, and I think that that's a big difference, because I understand that some people want the privacy. I understand that, but there's too many, well, from what I've seen anyways, and what I felt like, and obviously you guys must have seen what I've seen, but it looked like there was a lot more abuse coming with it.
Correct.
And I think that was the problem. And it's unfortunate, but I will say this, I think that the community is by far one of the best communities that I've seen as far as how you guys have ran it. And you guys, I'll tell you, and here's the reason why I say this, is because I inadvertently, somebody gave me, because they didn't want to do it no more. There's one, I'm not even going to bring it up because it's not even worth talking about, because I'm not even going to think about this, but somebody said, hey, you want to help me, kind of thing. It's kind of, and I said, sure. But then what I realized is the numbers were all kind of like what I would consider fake numbers. They're like a bunch of spam artists in there, right?
Yep.
And I started seeing so many. If I was in the business of or needing, rather, if I was a customer needing my AC vent clean, I could probably see a ton of those come through because of spam. But you guys have really done a real good job and stopped all that nonsense with the spam. And that's one thing that I can say. It's legitimate people in there. It's funny because, the unfortunate part is that sometimes you'll see, people take pictures of like the, car accidents and stuff like that. And
Yep.
And that's been something I've seen in there. And it's almost like it's almost like, I think there's even a guy in the group that works for like Wink News or something. And
there's a lot of news people over there.
Yeah, and they get their news first right there.
Oh, yeah.
And they can, go out and do whatever. So I see a lot of things that kind of come to fruition with all these people that are part of the group and making part of the group. So your job of being an admin, the jobs of the moderators and yours and everybody. And here's the ironic part about this is that you guys get $0 for this.
$0.
$0.
It's unbelievable, because someone will try and post something on a Friday. I'll be sleeping. It will get denied by the moderators of the group, and they will send me a message and will get so impatient they will, for lack of a better term, light me up. So I'm waking up to situations I have no idea what's going on, and then they start cursing at me. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but blocked. Speaking to Anonymous, I mean, that was one of the big reasons why I got so interested in the group is I truly believe, I'm a big free speech person, but I'm also, very pro transparency. If you got a problem, you got to say it. And, the assumption is you are joining this Lehigh community group of 96,000, you should be able to say things with your chest and stand on business, and instead of just hiding behind, because at the same time I can see it.
Right.
Like if you want to go and you want to post, I mean, at the same time I can see it, and then I'll turn around and I'll send them a message and say, listen, that's not true, or engaging and monitoring. But that was the first order of business of this newer like administrative group, is we put out a vote, and because they wanted to just carte blanche cut no anonymous. I said, no, it's easier if you push it through. We know it's going to get passed. We know that everybody does not like the anonymous, like the setting.
Right.
So let's just put it out to a vote. Overwhelming majority. Now here it is. And I think the initial post, they got like 300 or 400 comments on it, just saying how awesome it is. But then you get the people talking about, protecting victims. Well, we also, we're a message away, and so they'll send the moderators and the other administrator a message, and they'll post anonymously for them saying this member wants to remain anonymous. So I mean, we haven't really done away with it. We kind of put an asterisk next to it,
right.
But because there's people who genuinely need help, but the amount of spam, negativity, and everything is getting under control.
And I think, so that kind of leads me segues into the next thing, is like, it based on the anonymous, and now the people that want to be anonymous are now kind of private messaging you guys, DMing you, and with that being said, this is where the group has taken such a huge responsibility. Like for you guys, it's such a huge responsibility.
Yes.
To be at 96,000 people in a group and growing, as you say, and you got to really be careful with certain things that are passing through, kind of thing. Because I mean, how many times has it been over? I mean, God forbid, there's anything go wrong in the world, and it ciphers off the group or something of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So you guys have to be diligent, and that's understandable. And then of course you don't want to spam, because then it ruins the group atmosphere.
Correct.
So I get all that. So I would definitely think that this is a huge undertaking for somebody like yourself, who's already got a lot on their plate from a 9 to 5 job.
Definitely got a 9 to 5. But what I'm so thankful for are the 3 ladies who are currently running it. Like I mean, because I have the 9 to 5 and the demands of the job that I have and what I'm going to have, I mean, from a percentage standpoint, I'm like 5 to 10% of involvement at this point, because I've taken slowly a step back. These ladies have really just taken it and ran with it, and they have actually. At first, taking a step back, at first I wasn't a tremendous fan of as much moderation as it, because like I said, big free speech guy. Now we got rid of the anonymous, but now they're starting to implement the rules, and the immediate effect I thought was starting to negatively impact the group, but it was through their vision where they actually is getting like a long-term benefit. Now people are getting more comfortable posting. Now people are getting more comfortable in saying the right things, the asking the right questions, and they're starting, because when you post, you could actually create nicknames for yourself, and that falls under anonymous too. So people are actually making comments not anonymously, because these ladies will go in and cut the comment, and they always send feedback. You delete it, it asks you to send feedback. They always send feedback like, you can't do that, and they are on top of it. And so the long-term benefit of having such a, I don't want to say a stricter environment is now you're having a large scale group that's being ran properly, I think is the right way of saying it.
And I think you're on to something there, because like I said before, it's a lot of work. You guys had to go through your moderators that you've that's volunteered and took the responsibility of. It's a big deal, overall. So I guess now with you guys, kind of coming in, implementing this, do you ever think that there's, because I'm just curious if there's ever a situation that you've dealt with in regards to this, but do you ever think that there'll be, because the group's so big and because it's such a, it seems to be the group, I guess, for
it really is
for the town. Group. Yeah, it is the group for Lehigh Acres. Group. And here's the funny part is that, which I'll dive into a bit, but Lehigh Acres, it's a town, and we have this group that's amazing as far as all this, but do you guys ever see this like eventually taken on to where you guys would even have, like, if somebody felt that if there was enough people or something of that nature, or even somebody that was trying to post something that they thought maybe was within the guidelines, that maybe it was nixed because of it was skating it or whatever the case may be. Do you think there ever is like a approval, like a almost like a grievance scenario?
Oh, like an appeals process?
Yeah, like an appeals.
Oh, and we get appealed all the time. I mean, if they, it's kind of like playing mommy daddy. Like you'll decline it.
Right.
They'll reach out to me. I'll send it to the group, and I'll say why, like what's going on with this situation, because they're way more dialed in than I am.
Yeah.
And so they'll explain it to me, but I have no problem. There's like a built-in kind of checks and balances, because someone needs to take the step to hit the delete button, but we also have a couple people who are also willing, because it's the moderators and the other administrator of the group are very, it's not like one of those things where you argue. Like, okay, cool. Like, we'll post it, see where it goes. Or this person's posted on the same group 5 times and they're being real nasty, and they'll put you in timeout.
Yeah.
Like, it's. They won't ban you, but they'll say, I think you can set the days. So like we'll suspend you for 5 days, or we'll suspend you till Friday. You need a timeout.
Time
like,
out, chill
oh
out.
yeah. But then they'll reach out to me. Like there'll be some people who actually a couple weeks ago, someone reached out and said that they were banned 2 years ago.
Oh wow.
They're like, can I have another chance? I was like, yeah, sure. Like, it's not that big, like, what's the worst that can happen? You violate the rules, we ban you again, Like, everybody deserves second, third, possibly fourth chances. So they jumped in, they said, I don't know really even what happened 2 years ago, but the group has grown. I need to, ask for this type of advice. Can you help me out? And I was like, sure. And it's literally 2 clicks and you're done. It actually takes more time to load the members than anything else, because it takes forever.
I can only imagine. Now, out of all the rules that the group has, right? In your opinion the rules, everything, there's I'm sure you got several rules, but what are your top 3 non-negotiables like when it comes to the rule book here?
Oof, the anonymous. It's by default. That's the top one. The second one really is just kind of the golden rule. Just be nice to people.
Yeah.
The third one, which is always a little controversial, is really just the promotion of businesses. Mm-hmm. Like, because that's one of the biggest things. Like Lehigh is booming.
Right.
So so there should be some sort of way of promoting. So I would say I have a top 2 like non-negotiable, just the anonymous and being nice to people. But really the thing that the more controversial one that needs to get discussed more is really just, you have those grinders in Lehigh. You have those people who starting off with businesses and want to promote, like bakers, people baking bread out of their house. They want to promote. And we have a crazy large platform to do that. I don't want to say reevaluate, but there's going to be a time where we're going to have to sit down and say, are these rules working for the betterment of Lehigh, or is it welcoming unnecessary spam? And that's the thing. That's
a true thing, because I'll tell you this. There's been times, and I can kind of go into this and from a business standpoint. Everything is like, I think that I've seen. And I don't, to be honest with you, it kind of comes in and I've seen it to where there'll be certain competitors advertising something, and then something gets kind of, missed in the background. I don't know what you call it when you exit out, but we're not posted basically.
Right.
So, and I've seen it like that, and I never think nothing, because I'm like, it is a promotion. It is what it is. I'm not sitting here. Maybe, Joey over here. By the way, Joey's made up name. I'm just making up names.
It's cool. Yeah. People call me Joey.
Yeah,
no, you're good.
Oh, really?
Yeah. People call me Joey.
Okay,
yeah.
so I was like, Bob or somebody over there is like, oh, he got this one. I didn't go, but I was always thinking like maybe there should be something of a system almost for like businesses almost to be able to try to, there's so many random, I forget what it's called, like we do random giveaways or whatever, and you could press a button and it slides through the whole deck. And
no way.
Yeah, so you can like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so exactly. So I mean, imagine for a second if you get, if you got people identified as business owners for certain whatever, maybe there's something you guys can do to create something to say, okay, for this month or this week or whatever, maybe this is a business that we're going to allow to
like a sponsored business or something, like we're going to do nothing but plumbing companies this week or something.
Something like that, something, just an idea.
That's a great idea. And the thing is I think where it is, and I'd have to go and take a look at the rules, but it's when people are inserting themselves promoting their brand versus you going on and saying, hey, I need a plumber, does anybody know one? Right, well that's a big difference. And then you get hit with like 50 people, like I had when I was doing something for the school, I wanted a food trucks. You would have, everybody has a food truck. Yeah. I got lit up with food trucks and it was overwhelming and it was awesome. But I believe from the way that our rules, because I didn't memorize all of the rules, but I know, that I believe is really the interpretation of the rule. Like inserting yourself's tough. asking for help and people providing those services.
Yeah, that's a different, because I actually use it too. So I've seen it used that way.
Yeah.
Exactly the way you're talking about. Because I've needed cleaners. I've done different things because I do property management as well. So it's a lot of variation, like you said, plumbers, cleaner, whatever. And the moment I put it up there, I got a list, and I've hired a couple people coming off there, and it's been great, and I think it's a great way of being able to say, hey, if you need this or whatever, right? So I think, and then there's this, there's another group that does what they call free promotion, pretty much, and you can go on there.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's different groups for that kind of thing, but if there's a business or whatever that's out there that seems to be, I don't know, voted or something. You can even do forums. There's so many different ideas. I got ideas for you for days.
Good.
But I will tell you that it would almost make it a little bit better. But again, you would have to probably look at the rule and how that rule is applied.
Yes.
And seeing, because you don't want to, because then what happens is you're going to end up having, 30 people, and then somebody's going to say, oh, well, they're the favorite,
Yes.
And then
exactly.
And then that's
what will happen.
Yeah, and that's going to be all a big problem, and I understand that. So
I definitely get the you're playing favorites.
Yeah.
Yep, we get that all the time.
But it goes back to what you said earlier when I was asking about the top notches. Is that it's like the mommy daddy syndrome. You go back, this person tells you this person, and then you got to talk to communicate with the moderator. Say, okay, what's really going on? What's happening? So I understand. That's a very valid thing. But you never know what you could. I guess the point is that you guys are doing this, and you guys are not getting. It's really you guys are doing this for the community or whatever. But at the same time, it's like eventually it may be out of going to 150,000 or whatever.
Oh, well, because I believe it's now, because what was happening is people were posting and they were new members and we did not know why. So we started looking into it. And if you're a new member, we've hit that some weird Facebook threshold where you don't need to get approved anymore. Like you can just jump in. So there is it's only a matter of time. And actually a true story, back in the day, Tommy, when he got created, some people were trying to buy the group from him.
Really?
Yeah, so people were actually getting ready to shell out some money to this guy, and he's like, no, he was very, he's very passionate about the Lehigh community. He's very passionate about the people who live there, and he was very, this was his baby, and it still is, and it didn't fit his vision to just sell it off, because I'm sure there's someone who'd be willing to pay money to just add him in as add him in as an administrator, and now you have access to 90.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this: I'm so glad he didn't sell it.
Me too.
Because you bring somebody in there that purchases it, right?
Right.
And now I feel like it could. I'm not saying it would, but it could turn a different type of people coming in the group.
Correct.
Or even worse is like now you're starting to do a lot of promotion, and it's not good for the group. You're losing the fact of what the group is about, right?
Yep.
And rules don't always apply to the person that's running it. That's the way
true.
Yeah. And then you would end up losing members, and then that would be what did you just pay for? Nothing. You pay for nothing because you're not playing by the rules. People are there because you have rules. Now you got people that abuse it. You're one-offs, this and the other. That's the best way to really moderate it. Like your moderators, and doing all that. So I'm so glad he didn't do that.
Me too.
Overall.
No, he did good by the community not doing that.
So one of the big things is that I will tell you this, is that I noticed, just because obviously I'm in the real estate business industry, that kind of thing. One of the things I noticed is like there's so much people moving here still.
Yep.
And so the fact of the group is that the numbers are going up. And another thing, what I've even done, even for myself, my son, he's actually in the military. So one of the things I've done is like I'll find groups like Lehigh in different parts of the country that if they're going there to scope out the area to kind of see where it's at. So, excuse me. So one of the things I've done is I've scoped out some of the things of where everything's at, or whatever the case may be, because the group kind of gets you engagement of what the lifestyle's like, what's going on, that kind of stuff. So I think that's a key component. I'll tell you right now, we actually, I don't know if you noticed this in Lehigh, one of the things that's been happening, and I just want to know your opinion and what you think on this matter. But a lot of like we have land we got tons of land here for sale, right? And some of the land is zoned commercial along State Road A2. There's private people who've actually bought the commercial land, and I don't even know if you know that, but they've actually turned it into a place to put because you talked about food trucks. They've they put the food trucks there, and then some has bought the land and invited food trucks there.
Yeah, I've seen about two. Yeah. One by Lehigh Senior High School.
And this was on some kind of vote or something in Cape Coral for Cape Coral. So Cape Coral, they actually, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to quote too much because I'd have to go back and see some things. But I know Cape Coral, they were on a situation to where I think they was either approved or disapproved. I can't remember if it got approved or not, but there was a lot of that starting to happen over there, and they had a vote on it from a city perspective, right? Now, so I will say this: when it comes to dealing with the group and Lehigh and seeing the growth that you're seeing, we talked about this. It's going to be plus because you can't even now you can't even stop the people from coming in essentially. Because the way Facebook...
It's kind of like a floodgate now. Yeah,
it's like a floodgate essentially doing that. So one of the things is that what are some of the advice for or letting people know that they want to join a group? Like if they wanted to join your group, what are some of the things that you would think that would be beneficial to them to join the Lehigh Acres group for the people that are here that maybe hasn't joined?
Right. So the first thing I would do is, and this is a very weird piece of advice, but definitely look at the rules, because part of being incorporated into a group or joining a group, you're going to need to follow the rules, because you're going to want to jump in that 95,000 group, and you're going to want to share, your Instagram and say, hey, come follow me. You're not even going to make it onto the board. So that would be really the first thing. And the second thing, and this is just something that we as a society need to just progressively start working towards, is, like I guess misery loves company. Like people really tend to gravitate to the more negative, stories, but just try and go in there and just be positive, be a good human being. Like what you're talking about, you're doing this for the community. Be that servant leader. A lot of people are out there and they really want to help out. They want to do some genuine good things. So when someone goes on, or if you want to jump on to your group and you want to make a post, or someone makes a post, don't jump on and bash it. Like if someone's asking about like, hey, is this a good school? And then someone chimes in and says like, no school in Lee County is good. Like, no, get out of here with that. Like, that's not even remotely true. Like, I think all the schools are fantastic. Like, I would say that the majority, if not all the schools, would pass the would I put my kid in that school test. Yeah. I mean, just the way that things are going. So you have these... You need to go in there with a more of an open mind. If you're going there to try and muck around and cause trouble, and you just want to go and you want to argue with someone, or you want to join this group because someone cut you off, so you want to take a photo of their license plate and post it thinking that one person's gonna actually see it. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like, don't do it. Just keep your comments to yourself. That's the best advice I can give.
So, in other words, when you come in, treat people the way you want to be treated.
Good golden rule. Yeah. Who would have guessed that the golden rule that we learned in the 90s and forever ago, like, is still stands today? Like, why? Like, you just woke up and you made a post. And I was just telling you before we started recording, I had a gentleman who got denied a post, and he sent me a message, and I was sleeping. And he waited 2 or 3 hours, and then he started cursing me out. So I woke up to a whole message chain of a guy I don't even know, appealing something that I could have just been like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then saw me as an enemy. Like, they give you read receipts. Like, I'm not reading your stuff. Like, right. Yeah. So I woke up, and that was a great thing to wake up to. I was like, oh, geez. I was like, I'm sorry, buddy. Like,
And that's the big thing is like, I couldn't imagine waking up, and these are complete strangers to you because you don't know from Adam. They joined the group. That's it, so you really don't know. So in 12 months, a year from today, right? Let's just say a year from today, what do you hope to see the group at? Like, as far as where do you hope to see this group go to, and what is the end goal for you?
So the thing is being that this is strictly a hobby. I really don't have like an end goal. Like, that's cool. Like, I have no goal. I looked into this as more of just being like a support facilitator, helping out as is, and then but I think it's going to cross 100K in less than a year. Yeah. Like, I would say by summer. Yeah. I would say by summer, this group is going to hit 100,000. I think the vision of the Sues and Cheryl, it'll actually take true shape where people are kind of understanding of the rules, because you're in there, and a lot of people were joining in just to see the anonymous posting. Like, it was kind of turning into one of those groups where you can just see how many heads you can turn by submitting something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, and they're actually cutting it down to, listen, if you want to post, be prepared. That's your name out there. Mm-hmm. Like, you can click the person's name, you can go and see, and it cut a lot of the nonsense out, because no one wants to bash openly. Like, they were perfectly fine talking behind their keyboard, but now we're like, you can't do that anymore.
And that's one of the best things, I think.
The influx of positivity, or I would just say by the fact of the outflow of negativity due to anonymous has made the life on there so easy. But those ladies, they're doing a fantastic job. But in terms of vision, not really much of a vision, but I definitely see it hitting that 100K soon.
Well, that's one thing that I like I said, I definitely see that coming to the future. I can only imagine, like, when I'm talking about Lehigh Acres and the community group and dealing with all the things that you guys got to deal with, and just even coming into this meeting here with the podcast and having you here is like, to me, this is a great way for me to be able to say, hey, we didn't meet until just today.
Right. It was a great way of meeting. Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, it's a great way, and I'm putting this out to the community because I'm looking for others, obviously, that are participants in the community, whether they're political figures in the community, whatever impact that they're having positive.
Oh, I got a ton.
Yeah, that's what
I got a ton that'll help you out.
Yeah, so that's what I'm looking for, because at the end of the day, I sell house. I do real estate in Lehigh. I do it in Cape Coral. I do it everywhere, but I live here. That's the difference. Mm-hmm. And I'm living here, and I'm here to stay. I'm here to help out in any capacity, and that's kind of what I like to do. Just to help. So I'm really glad that I got to meet you today, and I really thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Happened. So like I said, I appreciate for your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thank you for what you do for the community. I definitely appreciate that, because I think everybody needs a place to learn a little bit about Lehigh Acres.
Yep,
so,
absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you guys for viewing and tuning in. I hope to have more coming to you. This is episode 1. Thank you.